Rossington 50 seals draw for Northamptonshire. This one has been a run-fest punctuated by flurries of wickets. Kent followed Northamptonshire's lead and piled on over 300, Robinson's electric 100 helping them there. And the hosts declared overnight, still 64 behind, but hoping to force their first win of the campaign. Darren Stevens was up for the fight, Emilio Gay unable to replicate his first innings heroics, out early, LBW for 8. He'd have another, Vasconcelos 2 removed cheaply, his contribution just 9 when he was caught behind. Northamptonshire made their way to 50 runs, but Cummins struck for Kent's third of the morning. Keogh caught behind. Berg, at the crease as night watchman, had to observe as he'd lost partners, but he too would eventually succumb to the pressure, caught at slip off Gilchrist. They'd found themselves in a little bit of bother at lunch, 70 runs on the board for the loss of 4 wickets, and leading by just 132. It got worse for Northamptonshire at the break. Zybe, so often a route of resistance for the side, dispensed with early in the session for 6 by Gilchrist. Rossington and Proctor showed some resistance and took their score into 3 figures, the lead now heading in the direction of 200. Put on 50 for the 6th wicket and taken the lead up to 186. Some control restored when they were separated. Rossington aborted the single, but Proctor was stranded, the stumps found by Bell Drummond. A 4 from Tom Taylor took their lead to 200, the target for Kent starting to get a bit trickier, but that's when they'd have their 7th, Taylor out for 12 off Gilchrist. With the score up to 150, Buck joined him back in the hutch, out LBW to Denley, Kent now 2 more away from picking up the bat once again. T came soon after, the score 156 for 8 and the lead 218. If Kent were going to force the win, they needed to get a move on. The skipper had done more than most to drag the game out and take it away from the hosts, and fired his way to a 50 after the break. The single that got him there came off the bowling of Gilchrist. The match didn't get much further than that. Rossington's job made easy for him by Bell Drummond, the Kent captain turning his arm over and the handshake offered as he reached the end of his follow-through. The result leaves Kent heading into the LV County Championships hiatus as one of only 2 sides yet to taste victory. Northamptonshire, though, will be pleased with their efforts. Regardless of the result at Emerald Headingley, they're now just 15 behind leaders Lancashire. When they return in July, there's a lot to play for. Yorkshire their next opponents, and if they're serious about putting themselves in the mix, they will have to rely on Kent, who take on the leaders Lancashire when the tournament gets back underway.